are Sint Maarten. You are Sint Maarten.
The URSM, the Unified Resilient Sint Maarten Movement, being a political movement, will be hosting a weekly radio program called You Are Sint Maarten, every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on the Radio Mix 94.7 FM. I myself, Dr. Messalina, the political leader of URSM, will be hosting this radio program in which current issues, actualities and general topics will be discussed with the people of Sint Maarten. So join us every Wednesday on Radio Mix 94.7 for our radio show You Are Sint Maarten.
You are Sint Maarten. You are Sint Maarten.
Dear people of Sint Maarten, good evening. Welcome to your radio program You Are Sint Maarten on Radio Mix 94.7 FM. As you know, already for a while, I'm Dr. Messalina, that is the one hosting this radio program. And as you know, of course, I am the surgeon here in Sint Maarten since 1999, serving the people of this country. It's a while already that I'm a surgeon, a professional working in the community of Sint Maarten. And as you know, of course, seeing the challenges of the people of this country, encountering really the problems that the people of Sint Maarten are battling, telling me in my outpatient clinic what type of issues and challenges they are dealing with on a daily way, actually made me decide, I think our people are suffering at this particular moment, and that is actually one of the reasons that I decided to found this political movement, the URSM, the Unified Resilient Sint Maarten Movement, to actually step up the plate in a way to try to serve the people of Sint Maarten on a political level. We are seeing that the people of Sint Maarten are going through some challenging times, and I think it's time for us to have a radical change of government with a bigger picture of trying to improve the livelihood of the citizens of this country. As you know, the URSM, the Unified Resilient Sint Maarten Movement, is going to contest the upcoming parliamentary elections for country Sint Maarten. And, as you know, we from the URSM stands for putting the people and the country above self, and believe, of course, in educating and informing the people of this country. We strongly believe that there should be always a sound balance between economic growth and a welfare society. As you know, we are for a while already presenting this radio program on a weekly basis in which current topics, community developments and issues, and general matters concerning the people of Sint Maarten are being discussed. Most of the time, or normally, we have here a guest with us, and today I decided to invite one of the candidates on the URSM slate, being Mr. Wendell Thode, a very known person in our community. He is for years a police officer. He has been working also by the Coast Guard. Before that, he was also flying as a pilot. People forget that Mr. Thode actually was a pilot, and if I'm not mistaken, by Win Air many years ago. So Mr. Thode has his necessary miles on his meter concerning his experience in different sector of our community, in the aviation sector, but also in justice, being the police and also the Coast Guard. Mr. Thode has always distinguished himself as a very hard-working officer for country Sint Maarten. I recall for myself when I started working as a surgeon here in Sint Maarten many times when there were incidents with the citizens of Sint Maarten, with shooting and fighting and car accidents. Many times I used to meet Mr. Thode on the emergency room, in which we used to discuss the incidents that happened. And we always used to have some discussion about community developments. And that is also the reason that I approached Mr. Randall today when I started with this political movement, because I was really looking for professionals in different sectors from our community to try to form a list with people with a great heart, a great commitment and experience in our community, and also reliable people that have the necessary credit from community. In that way, to present a political slate that will, of course, generate the trust of the people of this country. Mr. Today, it's a long introduction, but I want to, first of all, thank you for accepting my invitation in this radio program, and of course, thank you for being one of our candidates on the URSM slate. Mr. Today, good evening.
Good evening, Doc, and good evening to all the radio listeners and the people of Sint Maarten. As Doc has just introduced, did this introduction, it is true. I've been serving the people of Sint Maarten for a long time already. I can remember Doc by the hospital in his early years when he was a bit younger. That we always had discussion about how to deal with the situation and what were the causes of all these confusions and all these problems that occurred in those times and are still occurring. Because still we have things didn't change that much. So we still have the same amount of problems and the same amount of confusions that happens. Sometimes you hear about it, sometimes you don't hear about it. And as a matter of fact, like Doc was saying also, I've been here serving the people of Sint Maarten in different, like you can say, with different hats on. I had a hat of the Coast Guard for a while. A lot of people on Sint Maarten knows me as a pilot also. I flew for Winair for quite a long time. I was captain and training captain, and I passed through the whole career of the flying career with Winair. And before that, I was a police officer already. So after that, I decided to go back to my passion. It's just like, you can say it's you have two love of your lives. Like most of the Caribbean men, they have two women that they love and they like. And then you want both, but at the long end, you still have to pick and choose to the one that you love the most or the one that treats you better. So, looking into that, I decided to go back to the police force because over there at that time, just to tell a short story about myself, at that time by the police force, they had given me the best out of the two worlds. Because when I decided to go back to the police force, that's the time that the police force has acquired the helicopter. And I served on the helicopter from the beginning till the end of the project. That was almost like 6 to 7 years. So I had my first love, which is the police work, and my second love, which is flying. So I can say I was lucky in a way to be able to have the two love in my hand, and they were not fighting with each other, and be able to serve both of them to the best of my ability. And right now, I want to continue serving the people of Sint Maarten because that's the first on my agenda, the people of Sint Maarten, and we will see. That's this coming election. We are going to see what's going to happen because we will be definitely there to continue serving the people of Sint Maarten.
Exactly. And the way things are going, the opinion that I'm getting from the people outside there, Randall, there is a realistic chance that the URSM will be part of the upcoming coalition that will form the government for the coming 4 years, starting as of January 2024. We have a few months more to go. I mean, we are finalizing this October. We have in November, we have the postulation day on the 22nd of November 2023. The next day is the 23rd of November is the nomination. We have to have that is the rally to gather the endorsement by the people of this country by the collection of signatures. That's on the 23rd of November. And then we have, once that is done, we have the endorsement of the people as the law prescribes. We are going to head towards the elections for the parliamentary elections for County Sint Maarten, and that is planned for January the 11th. The way I feel it at this particular moment, the people of Sint Maarten, they are tired, they are exhausted in their morals due to the constant challenge with the battles of life, not being able to put the ends meet, as we say. In the past, for example, my mom used to live from month end to month end. Nowadays, you see that people really live from day to day. So insecure and unstable is our economy nowadays. And that people really have a big challenge to keep their head above sea level. So hopefully the URSM will get the evident endorsement by the people of this country, and with that we will be able to sit on the negotiation table for the formation of a new government. I have positive hope, I have good hope that will be the case, that the people are waking up. If I see the reactions and the conversations on the street, I realize that the people really want a radical change for Sint Maarten, what I think is good. Democracy has to be in that way, that once people think we have to shift and do something else to try to save our country, I think it's a good idea that the people will try something else to see if they can mandate others, serious people, with integrity, with transparency, with commitment, with a good heart for the people, putting country and people above self. I think these are things that we really need now, especially hearing on the street what is going on in this current government. I think it's good if something new happens for Sint Maarten.
Yes, Doc, just like you're saying, the people, they want mature people who are matured to get into government and do the right thing. Because the way things are going is not very, very good. It's not good at all. So everything that I hear on the street is that the people, they want a change.
Yeah.
They want a change. So we are going to bring the change.
I hope so. I hope so. Once more, out of my heart, I ask the people of Sint Maarten to consider one of our candidates on the URSM slate with the teal color, and the hope that will give the necessary alternative for the people of this country. Wendell, you decided that you're going to step up the plate. Next of being a police officer, you said, I'm going to join the political arena of Sint Maarten because you really think there's more that can be accomplished for the people of this country. You decided to do that, but Wendell, you're somebody from the Justice Department of the country. Wendell, what is high on your list in case you get the opportunity to get in government with the URSM as a police officer, knowing the challenges that our justice workers are going through?
Doc, there is so much problems that have to be solved that at the long run you don't really know where to start. But we have to start somewhere, Doc.
Yeah,
the whole thing is the people are suffering. My colleagues are suffering. My colleagues are passing through hard time. The problem is we have been promised a lot of things, but the things that have been promised till the day of today did not comply, did not see the light of the day. So I think for sure that one thing, what's on the table for the justice workers that has to be done will be dealt with. We have to deal with that. That's the first thing that we have to deal with, because the justice workers, I mean, they have been suffering. They have been waiting for 13 years. And now a lot of promises has been done, and they're still waiting.
You know, Wendell, I had the impression that that problem was solved, but the way I listened to you, this whole going back in time to pay the justice workers what they have right to, I think that is still not finalized. Do you have the impression that this will be finalized and paid out to the justice workers before change of this government?
have to laugh, Doc. I hope so, but I don't see it happen. I do not see it in the next 2 months. That's still ahead of us before the change election day. I don't see that that's going to happen. And that's why I say most of the colleagues there are very, very much frustrated because they have been promised with so much words that things going to be better, that they're going to see the function book, they're going to see the papers, they're going to see everything, and till now nothing. We didn't even see not anything for us to be getting the thinking that we are going to be paid.
Okay. So actually, the perception outside there was that you guys were in quite far negotiation with the minister and the ministry to get this function book not only well documented, but also to execute what is actually documented and agreed upon in this function book. But apparently, the way I understand it, until now, it has stayed by promises. And until now, the justice workers have not been paid. That is correct, right?
Yes, that's correct, Doc.
Okay.
And the person that can tell you the pain and the suffering that these colleagues or these justice workers are going through is somebody who's also in the same boat.
Yeah.
Somebody is also in the same boat. Somebody is also expecting something and nothing has happened. At least to see where you stand in the system.
Yeah.
Not even that
So
finalized.
Until now, the workers, like
Or
for
crystallized.
example, the police officers, they don't have a clue about how this is going to be in detail finalized, what has been agreed upon between the police officers, the unions, and the Ministry of Justice. Until now, there is no clear agreement of dates of paying out to the workers, etc.
No.
Okay.
Till now, there is nothing, and we don't have no date, we don't have nothing. And I don't see it happen
Before
either.
election.
Because
That will be painful, you know.
Yes,
Lose
it's
from
painful.
politics. Lose from politics.
Yeah.
We have taken the police and actually the justice workers for a ride. We have promised them empty promises, and then it has been used since 4 years ago, I remember. Even they thought that one young next generation politician would do it for them. They have endorsed this gentleman, and then once he was in, he turned his back to the justice workers, and then he took another ministry. So it was a big shock for that whole group. But okay, now we have another minister that tried at least to do something, but there were a lot of promises on the table. You have to be, as a person in the Council of Ministers, you have to be very careful with the way you say things, because very easy people want badly what is promised, but she has promised so many things that at the end of the day it becomes a little like a joke if it's going to happen or not. And I think that's not good. You know, our justice workers are serious people. We need them to build our society, our community. Without a justice department, there is no country. And I think you have to deal in a respectful way with justice workers in general, with police, with the prison guards, etc. So I really think that it's time now for a person to get the lead from this Justice Department in a way that there will be no more space for more promises, but only actually execution of what has been agreed upon with the police and the Justice Department of our country. But okay.
Yes, but you know, Doc, it's a very, very sad thing, and you know these problems you will see them again in the community, because it's not only the justice workers that will have the problem, but the problem starts by the justice workers, but then it will. Like they say in Dutch, vloei af in the other part of the community, because you have to remember the justice workers, they have families, they have children, they have a wife, they have a mother, they have, you know, so...
it has its impact.
It's a,
Yeah, of course. You know, Wendell, we have to be serious, and the problem is now in society that people are losing the trust in our democratic, the confidence and the trust. And if you have a democratic model serving a country and the citizens of that country wake up in the morning without the trust, confidence, and the hope in their country, you're going to have a very shaky, unstable democratic system. And that is what is happening now in our community. I realize that actually the citizens of the country, they do not have any confidence anymore in our politicians. And it's time for us to start changing, demonstrating the people of the country that it can be possible to have great politicians with great vision, with an action plan to actually endorse what has been said to the people. And I think that is a task for the URSM in the upcoming elections, to not go there, sit, brag, and promise, but just do what has to be done. People in Sint Maarten now need tangible developments to see, to feel, and say, okay, this government is a new government. They are at least showing the people of Sint Maarten that changes are taking place, and it's not empty promises, but because we are too much governing this country on promises.
Yeah. And most of the promises are empty promises.
Empty promises, yeah. And people are a little fed up with
and people get fed up. Yeah,
yes.
people are fed up. If you hear in the street a lot of people that I'm working with people. I'm working for the police force, so I'm working with people. And you talk with people, and a lot of people on the island knows me, and they come and they tell me, listen, Wendell, no, don't come talk to me about politics. Don't come talk to me about voting, because I ain't going to vote. I don't have no confidence.
They lost the trust.
They lost the trust at all. Completely they lost the trust.
Yes.
So it's now a double task to try to convince them again. At least, it's a democratic system. Yeah. If you don't vote, then you don't have a say. You have to vote.
Absolutely.
You have to vote for somebody. So at least try to build up a trust again in yourself and give somebody else that help you build in the trust, give them a chance to prove themselves.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't give them a chance to prove themselves, then we cannot have a change.
Yes, absolutely. Wendell, the time is flying on us. I'm going to take a small break, and we'll be back in the second half of our radio program, and then we're going to discuss other plans that you think are great proposals for a change, especially in the justice system of our country. So we will be back in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of our radio program, You Are Sint Maarten, on Radio Mix 94.7 FM. As you know, today we have with us as a guest, an invité, Mr. Randall Thode. He's a very known police officer in our community. And in the first half of our radio program, we were discussing with Mr. Randall Thode not only about his curriculum vitae, what did he do in the past, but also about his ideas, since now he is stepping up the plate and contesting on the URSM slate for the upcoming parliamentary election. I asked him what are the first things that he would like to realize for the justice sector of our community. And he spoke, of course, about actually solve the problem of the functiebook, not like documenting it because we passed that phase already, but it's now executing the agreements that are documented in the functiebook. And that is, as he explained, a big disappointment that we got so far to have a functiebook. It has been discussed, the content has been discussed, it has been agreed upon for the payment, the retroactive payment, but until now, unfortunately, politics has disappointed the justice workers, because until now they have not been paid what they have right to. And that is, of course, very disappointing, but actually we have 2 months more to go, so the government has still 2 months to show the people of Sint Maarten that they are a government of their word. I hope that they can be able to pay the justice workers. It will be a very, very big disappointment if this government would not be able to actually keep their word and do what has been agreed upon with the justice workers of County Sint Maarten. But still, it's not over. We have still till the 11th of January, and as I said in the first half of our radio program, the 11th of January will be our election day. And as we said also in the first half of our radio program, this election will bring big surprises and changes for country. And I think and I feel that the URSM for sure will be part of the upcoming new coalition forming the new government for country Sint Maarten. Let's hope the best. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Sint Maarten is in your hands. You are determining which government you want for your country. We have had the elderly generation for years, and all of a sudden we had like the incentive that something new had to happen. We gave our mandate to the younger generation politicians. We're thinking, okay, give them a chance. They are educated, they have had their education, so let's try it. At the end of the day, that also became a big disappointment for the country. And now there is an third opportunity again, and we have to continue trying, especially because we are a young country. We only exist for 13 years as a country, and we have to continue looking, exploring the options and possibilities to get a balanced government that is capable of executing and taking care of the business of the people. And I do believe that the URSM is capable, is one of the, I think, the most serious political parties with a great variety of different candidates coming from different professional sectors of our community. We have, as you know, doctors on board, we have lawyers on board, we have police officers on board, we have educators on board, we have entrepreneurs on board, we have the ambassador of the taxi drivers also on board. So actually we have a very diverse group of candidates that really, I think, after looking keenly and careful to get that selection of candidates, I hope that they can compose a group of people that really can handle the business of the people. Wendell, welcome once more to the second half of our radio program. Wendell, we were speaking about the justice, and one of your missions is to, once in government, if the URSM is part of the next government, to see how you can actually crystallize the deals and agreements that has been established in the Functiebook. That is where it's all about now. Secondly, Wendell, are there other issues, for example, in the police force that you see on a daily basis on your work floor that you think, I think these are issues that we really have to try to change once you are in government? Yeah. Explain us a little what more you would like to change in the for example, the police force where you work at this particular moment.
Yes, Doc, the justice chain is very broad, because the justice chain, and it's not fair that we only talk about the police officers, and forget about the other ones. So we have to talk broad, in grote lijnen, as they say in Dutch, concerning the whole justice system. And if I start concerning the other parts of the justice system, you can see that prison guards have also a lot of problems. Yeah. They have problems in the prison. You hear it on the road about the problems. These have to be tackled too. The Coast Guard got problems. Yep. A lot of the Coast Guard colleagues are waiting for the same as the police is waiting for. They're waiting for their papers to be done, the promotions and the things, and nothing is happening. I've been talking to the Coast Guard personnel too, and they explain to me their feelings and their unhappiness. So, a lot of these things have to be tackled. We have to look in each and every corner and see where the problems lies, and then try to tackle them.
And also the immigration, of course.
The immigration,
yes.
Wow. Yes. You see, just like I was saying, it's so broad that sometimes you forget some of the key players in the game. So, but
a lot has to be done.
A lot have to be done.
Yes. Wendell, but we are working with a young country, but it's really time for us to actually execute now what we have agreed upon in the past 13 years as a country, instead of talking constantly about the projects, ideas, policies. It's just time now to execute and yes, level up the service of the Justice Department towards the people of this country. But at the first place, you have to have happy employees. That's one. Secondly, you have to utilize them good. You have to give them the necessary tools to work with. I think you should accommodate them in a professional way. For example, if you see the building of the central police station for country Sint Maarten localized in Philipsburg, I really think this building is not adequate for the function it has in our community. I have proposed, and that we discussed that in our manifesto, that we should do something with this police headquarters. And I really believe that because we are a nation, a country, I think we should work on a education institution for the police force, that we have our own police academy, that we can actually educate and form our own police officers in our own country. And for example, transfer this office, this big building, into a police academy for country Sint Maarten and move that police headquarters to a different location that is more accessible for the people, because in the corner there where it is, it's not inviting you to go to the police station. You can't get a parking place. Everything is congested there. It's very, very difficult for you to be as a citizen in a situation for you to get out of your car and go to the police station of your country. So I really believe that building has to be shifted to a other location. And for example, we can use this building for a great police academy for country Sint Maarten. That is a vision that the URSM has. I really, really believe in having a police academy for country Sint Maarten, and I think the police station that we have now would fit that vision perfectly. Another thing also, Randall, that I was thinking that we discussed also is that I think that we will have to do something with the policies that we have by the immigration department. At a certain moment, you have to, at a certain moment as a country, actually adjust your vision on your immigration to actually service, accommodate your labor market. So you have to make it in a. For example, I always make use of the example of a restaurant, a sushi restaurant. You can say, okay, I'm going to start it. Okay, you have to put an advertisement for a sushi cook, but you're not going to get that guy here on the island. I mean, you can go to all districts here and ask people, do you know a sushi cook here in your neighborhood? And that will not be the case. So if this restaurant has to open, that will have a contribution to the economy. Exactly. You can accommodate tourists. You're going to get personnel working in that restaurant. If it's about a sushi cook to work in the kitchen, I mean, let's work on it to give this permit and facilitate this restaurant that I think is a great initiative to contribute to our economy. Let's do what we have to do instead of making each other's life constantly miserable and not helping to push the progress of our economy. I really think that our immigration vision has constantly to be fine-tuned on the necessities of the labor market. That's one. Secondly, I always said it's sometimes a little sensitive, but I still say it. You have to have a very, very constructive and rigid immigration system, because if you lose control over your immigration machine for your country, you're going to get what we're getting now, a lot of import of more poverty in our country. So you have to be careful if you have too many leaks in your system of your immigration. You're going to give the opportunity for more people to come to your island for a better life. What I agree, everybody has to move in the world in a way to improve their personal life, but we have to consider and realize that the lower income class of Sint Maarten is approximately 76%. That's too much for a community and a country to carry. I just want to mention this figure of 67% because if you compare this 67% lower income class of Sint Maarten, if you compare that to the division in another country like the Netherlands, that is of course a more developed country, you have the lower income class of, for example, the Netherlands is only 12%, while in Sint Maarten the lower income class is approximately 76%. This is incredible big difference between the two. And you have a middle class in the Netherlands is approximately 80%, while our middle class here in Sint Maarten is 12%. You have a middle class here, middle income class of 12% in Sint Maarten, and in the Netherlands it's 80%. For you to see the discrepancy once we want to compare the two countries with each other, while we are both part and partners in the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and you should know these figures because once you're negotiating in the kingdom for your people, it's very important for you to have the right information and figures for once sitting in the negotiating with the Dutch in the kingdom government, for them to realize that our situation is completely different than how the Netherlands is organized. It's a big difference if you have a middle class of only 12% here in Sint Maarten and a middle class in the Netherlands of 80%. That's a big difference.
And Doc, it's good, no? Because sometimes, especially when you're dealing with the Dutch people, you have to come prepared. You have to come with the figures.
Yeah, you have to be
and a lot of, like they say in Dutch, politiek Den Haag, they take decisions based on the political situation that they see in Europe. And that's completely different
from
how things is down here.
Of course.
So
there is a lot for us to do to gain more progress in our country, but you have to know how to sell it too in your negotiations in the kingdom. And I think we were very weak in that facet if you see how our government has moved on kingdom level to get things done for our people. The fact that you are in negotiations with the kingdom government, people think, oh, you're for the Dutch. No. You are sitting in a construction that exists. Yes. And in that construction that exists, being the kingdom, you have to make sure that you come up for your people, and that obliges you to sit with the Dutch on the table. But doesn't mean because you sit with them, that you're for the Dutch. No, you're sitting there because it's your obligation, it's your responsibility to sit there because that is how the agreements are made. And in those negotiations, you have to try to get the most realized for your people of your country. There is something more that I would like to say, Wendell, that I think is something that I would like to see for country Sint Maarten is that I think that we have to work on a more acceptable, a detention center that adheres more to the international conditions and stipulations of how a detention center for a country should be. If I have to be correct and open, I do believe that our detention center is not adhering to the international stipulations to call itself a respectable detention center for country Sint Maarten, and we will have to do something. And I think we have to work and modernize our detention center, reconstruct it. I think there are financial possibilities on kingdom level to get more finance to do this, but you have to be strong in your negotiations to realize that for your people. I really believe also that we have to work on a rehabilitation center and also probation center. Yes. These are things that I really think are high on my priority list, except of course working on the conditions under how these people are working in the justice system. For example, what I find it a pain in my eye when I see police officers now in a uniform, that I think that uniform is not in the Landsverordening, that is officially the uniform for the police. I remember when I was a young gentleman, young boy, when a police officer came in and you were there standing, man, that was a big ambassador for your country. The man was great respect. The man had shiny shoes. His trousers was nicely ironed. The man was clean. Everything was perfect on his body. It gives you a dignity and the proudness that you are part of that community. I remember that as a young boy. I was very impressed every time that I saw a police officer showing up in his uniform. If you see nowadays how the police officers stand on the street, the uniform, sometimes you cannot even read what is written on their outfit. They miss letters. The uniform starts to change color already. It starts to fade away, I say. I think these are things that are not good to get the credibility that you are a real country. And I think these things are important. But the URSM is going to make that change, Mr. Today, because we have to get back this country on track.
Yeah, that's the image of the country. Eh? You see the police officer, just what you were saying is completely true. Everything that you just rap on just now is completely true. And what I can say or suggest also, I'm on the road a lot, and what you was saying about the sushi chef, what the business people are complaining that they want more flexibility, that they can do the things and do business. It's completely true because I heard that screaming a lot already on the road, that things are not going the way they're supposed to go. There are too much red tape before they can get somebody to work, and at the long run, some of the business people, they get fed up. And they take the business somewhere else. They go because there are other countries over here also in the neighborhood that they can take the business too. And when they go, we lose. The people of Sint Maarten lose because you lose the business. First of all, you lose the service. You lose the tax that these people are paying because, of course, they're doing business over here. They pay tax. The tax money, again, we're going to convert it into the society to help the people, help the poor people. Maybe also the police will get a part of it.
Of course. Yeah, but that's the way it works.
That's how it works. That's the system.
Yeah. So, Mr. Today, as we have been discussing, we realize that there is a lot to do. And once more, I hope the people of Sint Maarten understands and feel that the URSM is not here to break any person, any politician, because we never mention names, we never become personal. The only thing is we highlight the problem, and we always, as the URSM, have a proposal for a possibility for a solution. And that is what the URSM is all about. It's not about degrading the political arena in a way that we become personal, we're going to throw it mud. No, the URSM does not want that. As a political leader of the URSM, I tell all my candidates, guys, we stay professional. We can highlight problems that we have in our community. We will not get personal. We are not going to throw it mud. And we will, once we highlight the problem, we make sure that we always have a counter proposal as a solution for our problems. And I think that is the way to elevate the level of politics of Country Sint Maarten, because the way it's going until now, I think it's disrespectful to the people of this country. And people has to be proud nowadays that they have a great government. They have to be proud that they have great leaders that represent them. And I think that is what the URSM has as task, to work on all fronts to get back the confidence, the trust, the hope, and the credibility of the people of Sint Maarten. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all in your hands. You have the opportunity on the 11th of January to make the great choice for the future of this country. The URSM is offering you a great group of candidates, potential great persons with a great heart, great intention, great commitment and love for the country. It's all in your hands. If you want to change tomorrow, you have to start changing today.
And Doc, I just want to highlight something that you just said. It's now I remember this. 11th of January is the election. And I'm number 11 on the list.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity to highlight that. Great. So on the 11th, don't forget to vote for number 11.
11 on the list.
Of the URSM. Indeed, Mr. Wendell today will be candidate number 11 on the slate of the URSM. So on the 11th of January, vote number 11. Great.
Yeah.
Mr. Randall, today I had a nice conversation with you today. I want to thank you for the time that you took out to be with us today in our radio program. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you also for being with us today in our radio program, You Are Sint Maarten, on Radio Mix 94.7. I want to wish you a good evening, and I'm looking forward to have you back in our radio program next week, Wednesday, from 6 to 7 p.m. on Radio Mix 94.7 FM. Wishing you a pleasant evening. Good night.